hello. Welcome to the Couch Potato Queens podcast, your weekly dose of sass, shade, and everything RuPaul's Drag Race. Join us as we break down the fiercest looks, the juiciest drama, and all the iconic moments from RuPaul's Drag Race Season 17. Tonight, we're diving into the Let's Get Sickening Ball, and trust us, it's going to be a wave of fun. I'm Mackenzie, and I'm joined by my co-host, Dakota. So grab your snack, settle in, and let's kiki. Hi.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Just woke up from a nap.
Girl, I need a nap. I've been up since 5 a.m.
I know. Hello, everyone. Hello, Joseph Collins. Yeah, I decided, usually I'm sitting in my room on my bed and I have like a little elevated thing and I'm just sitting there cross-legged and today I'm just like, I just don't have the energy.
Yeah, last week we were flustered with technical difficulties and Kalana being sick, and this week it's a little bit different just because I had to take my grandfather to his surgery today, so I've been out and about, and I literally just got back to my parents' house like 30 minutes ago. So if the background looks a little different, I'm at my parents' house, so that's explains the cedar backdrop here. Very rustic and eclectic, but
just Colin said, working but watching. Kenzie giving us a different angle tonight. Ben said, Kenzie, that top is a yes. It is a dress.
Yes.
It is a dress.
Yes. We love Mackenzie in a plum, and we love Mackenzie in a gorgeous caftan / muumuu, but I'm loving this. I'm loving this beautiful, like, navy blue. I don't know. I'm loving the chain.
Not calling out my caftans, my muumuu. Not calling out my Golden Girls era.
I can't say anything because I'm literally wearing a like black and a white cardigan, or white with a black cardigan, or all black, or like
and
a black.
Of you, Dakota style. Woo! Look at them titties. Look at them titties. Yes. Yes. Well, Ben said it's giving formal PTO meeting at 6:30 p.m. after a day in the office. Yep. Yep. But instead of having children that she had to suckle on them bosoms, she's got a man's that she has to suckle on them bosoms.
Mm-hmm. That's why she had to pull her hair back, because she had some fun with the teachers in the parking lot before the PTO started.
Oh, the principal wanted a little after school action. All right. Oh, what'd you think about the this week's episode, girl?
I loved this week's episode. I loved the challenge. I loved the concept. I loved like everything about this. I think the further we get into it, the more that I actually end up liking the challenges. Usually the first couple of challenges I'm not technically a fan of. I'm usually just waiting for the reading challenge as the mini challenge and Snatch Game. Those are usually my two favorite ones. But it's finally starting to warm up a bit. And I was like, oh, yes, finally, like a good challenge.
Joseph Collins said, come on, Harper Valley. Yeah. I agree. You know, and here's the thing with it. We are in episode 6 and we have 12 queens or 11 queens. So it's been a big kumbaya fest. And while I like it because I feel like that's given us a chance to get to know the girls a little bit more, you know, I wish it might have been spread maybe a little bit over the rest of the queen, you know, not maybe Joella, but maybe Lucky Stars. You know, I feel like Lucky Stars kind of got the lower end of the boot when everybody else has now been here for 3 or 4 weeks and hasn't gone home, you know.
Yeah, but also, look, this week I feel like there was a little bit of a redemption when it comes, you know how like a lot of girls in past seasons, they'll get saved, or they'll get, like when they're about to go home, they'll get saved last minute, or they get brought back after they've been booted off, and then they end up doing horrible, if not worse than they've done before and just go home the next episode. There's been a couple of cases where the person has actually done better when they came back because it lit a fire under their ass, or they ended up winning the challenge that they came back on. And Ariette just goes to show you she has more to show, and she ate this 9 challenge up. Literally was about to go home, got saved, and won the next challenge. Bravo to her.
Yep. So great way to start kicking off. As you said, we start off the episode with Ariette's celebration for pulling the correct badunkadunk tank lever. She is on top of the moon. I felt bad at that moment for Lydia Butthole Collins because I feel like Butthole is not used to getting a lot of attention. And so here Butthole had evicted basically, she had sent home this other queen, and she sent home the queen that nobody wanted her to send home. And nothing happened of it. Let's see. Joseph Collins said, "This ball was insane. I really think that they need to push the ball later into the season so we don't have to see so many outfits. Money ball was at 4, bitch ball was 4, sugar ball was at 4. Yes, but see, we've already had, well, I guess we didn't have a ball. We've already had a design challenge. Mm-hmm. So, this is the second design challenge that we've had in the last 4 episodes. And I think what they're doing, and I'm not mad at it. I think they've moved a lot of these very heavy challenges that, if they had done this later, I think they'll do another ball. I think we'll get 2 balls. But I think if they had done this one later on, maybe you don't get to see some of the talent as many of the girls, but I think they're trying to give us more content. But I think they're just trying to give us as much as they can to show us a variety of these queens as early as possible. And I like that, like Snatch Game, we're going to episode 7, and Snatch Game, I usually think Snatch Game's a little bit earlier, like 1 or 2 episodes earlier. Don't you?
I don't know about you, but I love balls. So I love a good ball. No complaints, baby. No complaints over here. Give me 1 ball, 2 balls, 3 balls, 4. I don't care.
No. I need a good balls. Well, I prefer 2 because one's just kind of a little awkward, and they have to be trimmed or smooth balls. I don't like just a wild ball with can't.
I'm talking about the challenge, girl.
I am too. So do you think the pressure is on now, seeing as how there are no more safety nets?
I think so. I think the girls, although the safety net is gone, but I think the girls that knew they probably weren't ever going to need that safety net are glad that they're gone, and now they can start cutting the competition off.
Yep. Joseph Collins said, "I'd be worried about 4. That's a disorder or something." No, 4 sets of balls means a good time. 3 sets of balls, something's a little off. Because 4 sets of balls, 2, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so I felt bad for Lydia. But we get the rest of the episode where everybody then decides to read Susie Toot style. I don't know so much as it's a read or it's just jealousy. What do you think?
I think the non-Kumbaya girls, I'll say that because I can't remember if they've named themselves yet, but the non-Kumbaya Kumbaya, the opposite of the Kumbaya girls, got that they should have been in the top, and they did not like that a couple of the Kumbaya girls were in the top, and they're mad because they feel like their fashion on the runway is better than the Kumbaya girls. So I think they were just mad. I think they were mad that they were just safe, or most of them were just safe, and then that a couple of the Kumbaya girls, quote unquote, their version of the boogers, did well and they didn't. And they're shy, and they're like, why are all these comedy queens that, you know, don't have good makeup, or they don't have cute, you know, cute clothes, and, you know, they don't have any taste or style, like, why are they winning all these challenges? Personality and talent, boo boo. Well, you can't win everything. You can't win every week.
And Joseph Collins said the best. This is giving Relaska Talks vibes with the Susie hate. Cannot agree more. And we're going to get more into some of the hate, but I want to bring up something that I told you about. I don't know if you've seen it yet. It was the Roscoe's recap. And by the way, usually, and that's what's so, for me, what I'm loving about the season is usually when I watch Roscoe's, I wind up hating, and you can ask Dakota this, I wind up hating these queens even more than I kind of do in the current season. So like Lucy LaDuca, didn't really like her in her season, hated her, you know, when she didn't, I'm just like, ugh.
It goes one of two ways with Mackenzie. It's either she hates them when they come into the workroom, and then she just progressively hates them even more throughout the season, or she's not really sure, or she doesn't really like them at first, and then they grow on her, and then she ends up loving them. Because I've seen flip-flop. I've seen it happen with her. But it's
if I like them instantly when they come into the workroom and I think they're great, then I love them. They'll, you know, yeah. But with that said, Acacia Forgot was on Roscoe's with T.S. Madison. And Acacia Forgot, I guess this is the first time she had seen this fully with, you know, some of the edits and some of the queens, well, especially Untucked. But she was pissed the fuck off. And I mean, she just went on, she cussed them out. She's like, look, you fucking bitches, you know. And she's like, I find it funny that all the bitches that y'all want to, you know, talk about kumbaya and can't take anything and can't take a joke and can't take this and da-da-da, you can't joke around. All of those are sitting here and Untucked being gracious about the fact that, you know, we were in the bottom in the past. We don't make a big deal about it. But because you're in the bottom, you want to cry and you want to say how things are unfair and how people aren't polished and you want to call people names. And she said, fuck that shit and fuck all of you. So I think she's got a point. It's the Mean Girls. It's bullshit, you know.
I try to like look at it like when I'm watching it, because I know a lot of it is like production, but also the competition starts to set in, and like the more and more as the competition progresses, like the competition is going to get harder and the girls are going to be more cutthroat. We saw that starting like especially last episode, but I kind of like take into account, I'm like, okay, these girls are in a competition, they're away from family, they're showing the best drag that they have or the best drag that they brought. They don't know which way the competition is going to go each week. They don't get an itinerary of which week is what. They just get a list of, you need to bring a costume for this, and this.
Yeah.
So I try to take into account like, okay, well, I'll let you.
Well, you can take that into account, but here's the problem with that. That just goes to show that drag is all encompassing. Drag is drag. You can come like some of these and spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars and still not have a look that's good enough to put you in the top. Or you can come with something, which Susie Toots' outfit probably cost something because it's, you know, a vintage outfit. It's a vintage look. But if you have 15 girls on, and I've judged many things. If you have 10 girls on stage and 7 of them are wearing almost cookie cutter looks, and it's just the same. You say same. Nothing stands out. And then you get one who comes out and they're just completely different. And, you know, you try to find something to call out, but their makeup's polished. This is it. Many times that's what's going to win. And Susie too came out there in something different. She did something different, and it wakes you up as a judge, especially with this many people. Sorry, you don't like it. So sad. Too bad. Oh yeah, and Judge Scott said Ariana Grande shouted out Susie Toot. So their bitches look like a boo boo the fool. She shouted out Susie Toot. She shouted out Anya Nerve, and she shouted out Lexi Love, and said that those were the three girls that she was watching. That she's not caught up on the season, but that's who she likes so far. And we have a new subscriber, Nelson. Hey, girlies, new sub here. Hi, Nelson. Welcome.
Hey, welcome to the channel.
Yeah. So I just don't like the Mean Girl stuff. I get it. It's going to happen every season, but don't sit there and downgrade someone else's look or someone else's drag who's put in just as much work, if not more, than you might have. You don't know someone's financial struggle. You don't know where somebody is. So don't do that. I mean, and yeah, I get you're trying to make good TV, but to me, that's just not, that's just, ugh. That just makes you as a person. Anyway.
Yeah, you can just tell that the competition is starting to get to a couple of the quote unquote mean girls of the season. And it really showed last episode in Untucked. It really showed, especially with I would say the two it stood out with the most Yeti and Lingerie. Like those were the two that it stood out. It stood out the most because they were so negative. Like I understand being upset and you don't want to talk because you don't want to say anything. I'm the same way. Like I'm not trying to hurt people's feelings. Like let me just keep to myself and stew about this. But at the same time, like when Ariette blew up, like we loved it because it was good TV. But like her going off on like everybody, like
she at least went through and she was like, "Well, you're already in the bottom," and she said how she felt and she went on about it. You know, so I can respect somebody that does that. You know, than to sit there and just stew. It
was good TV and it was very honest of her and she put it all out on the table. Now, was it good for friendships in the competition and morale? Probably not so much. But I think even the girls that she went off on that were in the top weren't really bothered by it. They were just like, poor thing.
Yep.
Like with Anya Nerve in the background laughing at them the whole time. Like, y'all are so bothered. Girl. Ariette was like, Crystal, your look wasn't even that good. Susie too, you won and you were great in the challenge, but your look isn't it. And also, Hormona, your dress was not all that. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. So next day, the queens enter the workroom. And are discussing this is still 12 queens and it's episode 6. And that every week someone else is going to be going home. And then they ask, who was it that asked her? Jewel said, Hormona, ask your psychic who's going to go home. And she's like, bye, Sam. Sam starts like, what? So I don't think she's got a good psychic. I don't think she's got a career in telling futures. Yeah.
Her psychic was Mistress Isabel Brooks, the Queen of Delusion. That's who her psychic was.
Girl.
But look at this. Like, look at the group. I feel like
I'm going to say that was Nina Benina Brown. That was.
We are 6 weeks in, y'all. 6 weeks in, 6 episodes. So 6 weeks. Granted, they haven't really been here 6 weeks because they film a new episode like every what? They film like 2 episodes a week.
Every other day.
Okay, so technically 6 weeks.
I think every 3 days. Yeah.
Okay, so six episodes in already for us. So 6 weeks.
Yeah, they're on they're probably on week 3 right now.
Yeah. So they've 6 challenges for them. So 6 weeks for us, 6 challenges for them. And they're only missing what? 3?
2. Started out with 14, we're 12. Yep.
So I'm not even a competitive person, but this would start pissing me off. Like every time I came in the room, there's a new challenge. Nobody's went home. I feel like everybody's still there. Like,
oh, you see it throughout this episode. Everybody's like, everybody's ready for somebody to get the fuck out.
I wouldn't be worried about the looks that I would bring because if I was ever to go on a show like this, like I would make sure my looks were together before I ever auditioned for a show like this. I would make sure my looks were down. So I wouldn't be worried about my looks on the runway and stuff. But baby, I would be running out of steam emotionally. I would be running out of steam, like coming in and seeing that none of the girls have dwindled down every time I came into the workroom.
Here's the queens before. Here's the queens in quick glory hole drag. They separated into two teams, one with pink knee pads, one with orange knee pads. Then we get Norvina looking gorgeous in a puffer ball gown. Like
very handful of seasons ago when Christina Aguilera came on and wore the pink wig that was similar with the dress, and she was pretending to be oh my gosh, what is her name? Farrah Moon. Christina Aguilera was on the first episode of the season and she was pretending to be Farrah Moon and she had like the pink wig on and the pink dress and everything. That's what it gave me, but I love this.
Yeah.
She always looks perfect.
I mean, it's gorgeous. Nelson, he said, I should be proofreading my thesis for the 1 billionth time, but I'm fed up. It's more fun to watch you kiki about the episode. You know what? Sometimes that's what you got to do. You got to put it down, get your mind off of it, just kind of get in a different place. So, Nelson, I want to know, who are you rooting for this season on Drag Race? And who do you hate? Like, who do you just despise? You can't say Joella because she's already gone.
Don't forget the Ella.
Who?
Every time someone says Joella, I'm like, don't forget the Ella.
Ella, A.
Under my umbrella, Ella, A. So for favorite and least favorite this season, Mackenzie and I's differ a lot. See, I've always liked Hormona, like from start to finish. She didn't like Hormona, and then Hormona kind of grew on her, and then now she's kind of like, maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe I don't like Hormona. I don't know.
Yeah, I got about well. Again, I'm just I'll wait to see how somebody is, and if somebody turns out to be a horrible person, then they're a horrible person. If they're a great person, they're a great person.
Yeah.
But I like that she's a polished queen to, I like that she's more polished than others are.
Yeah. I will say Lexi is my top, like my favorite. She just seems like I don't smoke or nothing. I don't smoke, drink, nothing. Like I'm just boring. I'm vanilla everywhere. So, but I would smoke with her. Like if she's like, girl, let's go out and smoke a Virginia Slim. I'm going outside and smoking a Virginia Slim with Lexi Love.
Okay. As soon as I get money, me and you gonna take a trip to Kentucky and we're gonna go see her because I want to see you smoking a Virginia Slim outside on the patio. I'm trying to bring down
you can smoke a Virginia Slim in like 5 seconds because they're so tiny. I would maybe
they might be tiny, but they long. But they make it for being thick and fat. It takes a hot minute to smoke Virginia Slim, and then it's menthol on top of that. So then it's just like, ooh. Joseph Kahn said, I need to see the downfall of Lexi Love. I'm rooting for her, but she's got to stumble or she won't.
Yeah. But I will say she has already shown her vulnerable side, which we saw pretty early on when, she talked about how she was kicked out and she's been on her own since she was 15. And that she works in like the corporate world. Great. She works remotely, but she works.
But I think what he's talking about is it needs to be like Sam Starr. Sam Starr just stumbled. Sam Starr was in the bottom. Sam Starr almost went lip sync. So what did we see Sam Starr do with that? Picked himself up, dust it off, learn from it. Okay, this is something I don't need to do again, and it's not dwelled on it. I need to see a queen almost go home or just get to the bottom and see how they react to that for me to just really stand.
I mean, I'm not going to go into the runways yet, but I will say Lexi's love on the runway this week wasn't like overly, it wasn't what I expected from her. Yes, like, did it look like something that we would have draped across ourselves when we were 5 years old walking through our parents' house with blankets? Yes. But was it like a great runway look? The jury is still out.
I'm rooting for Lexi. My least favorite is Acacia, but she's cute out of drag. Yeah, honey, she got.
Which one is Acacia? I forgot.
Oh, and by the way, on Rothko's recap, Acacia was talking about, when she did her first look and she had the makeup brush in her ass crack.
Oh,
she had that glued in her ass crack. It had been in her ass crack for 3 or 4 hours. Oh. Girl.
How did she sit down?
Girl. Well, when you got a big juicy ass like that, it don't matter what you got in your crack. You can still sit. There's plenty of cushion. She got a meaty ass. Like, she got a meaty ass. Yeah. Anyway, so we go back to the challenge. Nelson, we will go on a tangent and we will just go off down a long, dark rabbit hole corner into nowhere. So
he said he loves the kiki. So he came to the right channel because there's not that many RuCapping RuPaul's Drag Race. There's not that many channels that do it. There is a handful, and we are one of them. So if you love a kiki and you love girls that are ADD as hell that get off subject and then start putting their personal feelings in an episode, here we are. Subscribe.
Yep. So the queens have to take a lipstick from one side, put it in their mouth, pass it through the glory hole to the queen on the other side, and go and put it back in the tray.
I was waiting for Acacia to do it with her ass like she did with the makeup brush.
Girl, don't give her ideas. I like the Stam Star's little thing in it. He's like, I thought I was making out with Ronald McDonald's daughter. Talking about Susie Toot and her Ronald McDonald red wig.
Oh my gosh.
That was funny. How would you have done this challenge, Dakota?
What did I think about the challenge?
How would you have done in this challenge? Getting on your knees and picking up something with only your mouth and passing it through a hole with your mouth.
I mean, honestly, for the viewers that were watching me, I would not have any complaints.
You're used to having viewers, huh? While you work on your...
That is not what I meant.
Okay. Okay, girl. Judge Collins said, I've been using glory holes wrong this whole time. Girl, same.
Is that what this is supposed to be reminiscent of? That makes so much sense now.
Girl, really?
Girl. That makes so much sense.
Glory hole. That's what they put in the wing. They put something through the glory hole and they're picking it up with their mouth.
But then they didn't use the word glory hole.
Yes, she the fuck did. She told them to get into glory hole drag.
Yeah, but I just thought that meant like the look. I didn't realize that correlated to like the challenge and to like how they
have to pass the lipstick through the glory hole. Which then just so happened to be RuPaul's mouth.
Okay.
That is a glory hole. When you go into a bathroom, well, back in the day when you a man, in women's restrooms, you don't see this so much. So that's why you might get a pass. In men's restrooms.
I have never seen one in my life. Like, I thought whenever I've seen them in movies, I thought that they were like a hole in a stall on a wall.
They are. But it's because somebody came up there in the middle of the night or when it wasn't busy and they bring a drill that has like a cutout thing on the end of it, and they drill a hole into the bathroom stall. And that's usually several. It's one so they can be sitting on the toilet so they can see from the eye from the side, and they're like, okay, I can see what their dick looks like from here. Then there's one that's perfectly level. You know, some of them, if they're good, are a little bit bigger, so you can kind of get the dick and the balls in there, or you can fuck somebody through it. Like, girl,
Never done it.
back
But
in my day,
you
when
know
I
what?
was a
That
child,
I've seen that in movies and did not even get the context of it. So in the movie Scary Movie, when Ray's in the bathroom stall and someone puts their ding-a-ling in the hole and it ends up going like he puts his ear up to the hole and then it like goes through his ear to the other side. That makes so much sense. That is immediately what I thought of. Okay.
so girl, when this happens, if they're brave, they just stick it right through the hole. But you know, when you do it, you don't do that because you don't know if the other person on the other side is receptive. So do you remember there's a congressman one time that got in trouble for doing a lot of foot tapping in the bathroom? That's what they do. You sitting there and you see somebody over on the other side and you think they're playing with it, you kind of tap your foot kind of near the petition and kind of just like tap it, just little, you know. And if somebody else wants to play, they'll tap it a little bit. Larry Craig, that was the congressman. Yep. And so if you both are foot tapping, then the next thing you know, you're going to see somebody right at the hole and you're going to see somebody just kind of playing something or something just kind of like moving.
Girl, I have not used it.
We just kind of push
I
through.
haven't used a men's bathroom since I was like 14 years old. So
yeah, that's why. Yeah, girl, they everywhere, 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 everywhere.
Larry Craig, I'm
Yep.
not gay.
I'm not gay. I've never been gay, but he's sitting there going tap 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 with his foot and gets arrested for.
It's not gay if you don't see the person.
It's not gay if you only get your cock sucked and not suck the cock.
Oh, that's prison talk.
Oh, hey, Tsunami Rain.
Tommy.
Hi. Tsunami Rain. Let me know when you want to come back. We'll have you back on. We love to have you again.
She guest hosted with us 2 episodes ago, and she had a lot of fun. We all had a lot of fun. We had a great time.
So yeah, Glory Hole. They go back and forth, passing back and forth, and we find out that it was Team Ru that won. And that was Acacia Forgot, On Your Nerve, Lexi Love, Lydia Butthole Collins, Sam Star, and Susie Doot. And they each won a $500 cash tip. Come on, RuPaul's this season. Y'all giving out some money this season. I'm loving giving out the money. So Norvina leaves, and we find out that this week is going to be a Let's Get Sickening ball. They are going to have to do runway themes of bathing beauties with a swimsuit creation, a sea creature couture, and they're going to have to design and create a sea sickening eleganza look made out of items that were pulled out of the Pacific Ocean. Girl.
The reason why I said I love the challenge so much is because it's not because it's a design challenge. It's because it's reminiscent of earlier seasons of Drag Race. I think it was either season 3 or 4 where they had the nautical ocean themed design challenge where they had to use trash to make their garments. So that's why I love this. Like, I love nostalgia. That's just the kind of person I am. So anything that's going to bring back like old revamp challenges from earlier seasons, I love.
Just Colin said people weren't getting their prizes, so they just started giving cash and having it sponsored. Yeah, very true. A lot of people where people would win breastplates or a jewelry set. The queens were sometimes the queens had already gone home. The episode aired, and someone had already won the season, and they still hadn't gotten their prizes. And queens were starting to call out these people online, and it was. throwback to that, but also for me, it threw back to season 4 when we had the zombie apocalypse challenge. There was like, I think the first episode of that season, and they had to do a lot of unconventional materials. That's the one where oh God, what was her name?
Sierra Needles.
No, not her. Trans girl, heavier set. Jacked
Stacey
up.
Matthews.
No, girl, not. Don't talk about my girl Stacey Lane like that. Hold on, I'm googling it.
Madam Clear.
Oh God, no. From New York. Jiggly Caliente. That's when Jiggly Caliente came down and had her. Yes, Jiggly Joseph. Thank you. Had her foot hanging off the side with tinfoil.
Oh yeah, yes, because Elvira was on that episode, and she said, I mean, she used everything but the kitchen sink, but I think I saw the kitchen sink in there.
Yeah, you did shit. Yeah. This reminded me of that. The baked potato. Yep.
That did you guys not know that is actually Jiggly Caliente's costume? This is a screenshot of the trash pile, but it's actually Jiggly Caliente's costume from her season.
I will say I've seen a lot of people online that were like, there's not this much trash in the ocean. I don't know about the Pacific Ocean, but I know about the Atlantic. When I worked and I did a lot of NGO work in Africa for the United Nations, I've got a video. I'll share it if I can find it. But we were at the ocean, and literally we were only ankle deep in Africa, and there was so much trash. We got our legs and stuff cut up so bad that like so much trash. So yeah, there's usually a bunch of, if not more, trash in the ocean. That's why recycling is important.
I mean, you cannot go to the Gulf in Mississippi and get in the water, or go to the beach in New York, because you go in and you'll have 50 syringes stuck in your foot when you come back out.
Not so much in Mississippi. The reason people say that about Mississippi is because of the oil spill and stuff. It was so dirty. Now it's cleaned up a lot. I actually went to the ocean when I went there, visited my mom back there on the coast about a year ago. And we enjoyed it. It was, it's not as clean as, a 30-minute drive over towards Gulf Shores, where it's, and then Pensacola's, a lot prettier for the Gulf. But yeah. So how would you do in an unconventional material?
Girl, I pride myself on being pretty creative, but that is where I would kind of stump myself, because I have so many ideas. I would have a hard time. I guess it really is decided on what materials you're able to get to, on like what you would make.
Yeah, it comes down to luck.
Yeah. I would stay away
from a perfect challenge for Lucky Stars.
Very true. On our way to New Orleans, and the river.
We always stop in Vicksburg on our way to New Orleans, and the river looks like shit down there. Oh, honey, Mississippi River, baby. I went on a cruise out of New Orleans sometime last year, and love sailing down the Mississippi River. But you bitch, I love how oh God, Huckleberry Finn, apparently, sailed or had a little raft and swimming in the Mississippi River. Not now. You're gonna be swimming with a body.
He went in the Mississippi River as a male child and came out as a 50-year-old woman. That river does things to a person.
Sex. Yeah, I wish Lucky Stars had been around just to see. I would have loved to see someone's creativity like that. Yeah, there were still some great looks, but
this would be the design challenges like this, not the design challenges where you can just kind of choose whatever fabric you want, but this where you actually have to be creative and whimsical. This would be the challenge where I would kind of be like, oh, like I don't know what I would do. I would stay away from the metal. I know that I would not go down the path that oh my God, which one was it that used the metal tubing and piping?
I think it was Susie. No, I think it was Lydia Butthole Collins.
Yes,
I don't know. We'll get in her looks later.
I would stay away from that. I don't know. A tarp is the easy route. That's why so many of the girls went with it. Honestly, I would.
It was a mad rush for the items, and we have Jill Sparkles calling out Anya and saying, "Don't touch my shit. If I've got it, it's mine. I claim it. Don't touch it. I'm using it."
I mean, she said that last time, and
well, she didn't call it at the beginning, so I think just calling it at the beginning, she's putting her extra little bit of on it. So I don't know. Whatever. So girls start working. RuPaul comes through to do a walkthrough. One thing that I found interesting that I didn't really notice until this episode is the fact that Susie Toot and Lydia Butthole Collins are twinning. They look like they came out of the same pecker.
White, porcelain skin, eyebrowless, brunette, curly-headed, comedy queens.
Well, I think Lydia's white, but Susie Toot is Jewish, if I'm not mistaken. So, yep. Good, good for them twinning, I don't know how I would
say they had
I was going to say, I don't know how I feel about having someone that looks like me in a competition, but I mean, they just, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I don't feel, how like there's so many people like in the world, like there's someone or a couple of people on the earth that look similar to you. I've always said Mackenzie looks like on the TV show, I think Pawn Stars, the daughter that works on the show Pawn Stars. I've always said the brunette one, that Mackenzie resembles her. I never really had anybody tell me.
I've told you that you look like the girlfriend experience.
Okay.
Her hair.
Okay. She did from Canada's Drag Race season 4 or 5 or something.
Yeah.
You did tell me that. You said the girlfriend experience. She's a trans woman that was on Canada's Drag Race, and her name was The Girlfriend Experience is her drag name. Yeah. And she said that I look like her. She's like, especially if you don't like have makeup on and you're just kind of like getting ready and stuff, y'all like resemble each other a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I've gotten called a bunch of things. I've been told I look like a lot of things. The most recent one was when I was going through a whole bunch of stuff and I looked like shit. And I was wearing a muumuu and I had my hair doing weird, crazy stuff. And somebody's like, oh God, why do I always do this when I'm thinking about somebody's name? You look like the 4th of July. Jennifer Coolidge.
Oh my God.
You look like Jennifer Coolidge. Did you ever know I ever tell you that? I said, no, but thanks. You just made me feel better about myself. I think that's a compliment.
We love Jennifer Coolidge.
I think it's the tits. I think it's the tits, and I was blonde then, and I was just kind of like, anyway.
Yeah. I love
RuPaul then starts showing their group stuff, and several queens have the balls, and I do mean balls because the balls to sit there and tell RuPaul they didn't agree with who was in the bottom last week.
Are we talking about lingerie?
Well, she was also in the group that said that, but I think it was a few others that said it, and RuPaul's just like, well,
RuPaul asked Arietti, she's like, you seem like you didn't really agree with our top and our bottom last week. What did you think? Do you think that you were unrightfully in the bottom last week? She's like, well, I think that there were some other girls that deserved to be in the bottom over me. And RuPaul set her straight. And then Lana Jaray also had to bring up, well, it's not that I'm complaining, but I just really want to be one of the girls that stays on the stage that, gets critiques from the judges even more so and gets recognized for their outfit and ends up being in the top. Okay, well, now that you say that, since you were safe in the design challenge, that dress that you made was unfinished and you were almost in the bottom.
The more the judges looked at it, the more they're like, this isn't giving confidence. This is giving unpolished, and this is giving not seasoned. And you were one step away from being in the bottom, you know. And
Maybe if there's one thing you do not do, if Ru asks you a question, you can answer it truthfully because she loves an honest queen. But like, if you come out of your way and question RuPaul's decisions, she's got an answer for you, honey. She got an answer. Lana, when she said, oh, well, you were basically almost in the bottom. Lana's like, everybody's
like tag like Ru don't got it. Well, it's the mixed bag. Ru got it, because for Ru to come back with some of the things Ru comes back with, you know, does Ru also have a little earpiece in her ear telling her some of the things to say? Yes, but a lot of that's RuPaul. So, you know,
I mean, without RuPaul, there never would have been
names, though. Even Michelle Visage has been like, I don't remember some of these people's names. It takes her a minute to get it out.
There are queens that I love that are some of my favorite queens, and I like forget their names. Like on this season, like I'm loving this season so far, and like we'll be talking about stuff, and I just like flat out forget their name.
I mean, we're on season 17. We're going into season, what is it, 10 of All Stars. Then you have Global All Stars. Then you have UK versus the world. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So
granted, I only watch like 5 different. I watch, what is it? I watch Canada's Drag Race, RuPaul's Drag Race, Drag Race Down Under, Drag Race UK, All Stars, and then the UK versus the world and Canada versus the world. So those are like what the 7 franchises that I watch.
All Stars though.
Basically all the ones that speak English. Like if it's subtitled, I'm not gonna watch it because I know
Global All Stars, because you didn't watch Global All Stars.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch Global All Stars.
You should have. Only for the fashion, you should watch it.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So yeah. I think maybe Lana Jarre got more than she asked, you know. I mean, she got what she asked for. So
do you think they see that's another thing I've always wondered. Do like the judges get to see what happens and talked about in Untucked, or do they just hear about it from production?
Oh no. Glad you asked. T.S. Madison brought this up on Roscoe's. So they only know what they see on stage or what the girls tell them. And so T.S. Madison has said, y'all don't see it, but a lot of times I'm sitting there being, little investigator being asking all these questions. She said, so if I see a girl up there and we're critiquing her, and I see while we're doing that, one of the other girls rolls her eyes at a compliment or feels a certain type of way about it, I'll stop and be like, Miss Thing, what's your problem? Why are you rolling your eyes? Why you think that? Tell us what's going on backstage. Tell us what's happening. Tell us how you feel. And she said, a lot of times they will. And she said, it got so bad at one point that the producers are like, T.S., you can't ask anyone that questions. That's not your job. You're just, supposed to give critiques. She's when I see it, I'll are you there? Hello?
Am I cutting in and out?
We both were. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. In the comments, let us know if we're still there. Okay, here comes my signal back. Weird. Anyway, so yeah, she's like, she'll ask RuPaul then to be like, girl, ask that girl down there why she got a problem. And so now, but she's like, I fish it out of them. So I don't think that they know as much, they're just kind of judging what they see or what they get told. And so TS was like, I wanted girls to know this coming in. So you let us know some things. She said, so if I find out from you on stage that this girl didn't do as much work or she just glued and I'll take a point. I'll change my score right then and there. So, yeah.
Yeah, but that's another thing too. Like, I don't know if I would be comfortable like throwing girls even if it meant like giving them a lower score. Like, I don't know if I'd feel comfortable throwing girls under the bus unless they came for me personally. Like, I don't know if I could throw other girls under the bus.
Girl, if I didn't like somebody and I felt like they were boo-boo the fool, I'd be like, I'd say how I feel. Because, I mean, others have done it, and it's more fun that way.
I was just wondering, the reason why I asked, like, if Ru and the other judges knew what was said in Untucked, because Ru asked Arietti, like, oh, well, you seemed, you disagree with the decision of who was in the bottom last week. So it just made me think, like, it can't just be, like, the look on her face, or because, I mean, she kind of always has RBF, and you can never really tell what she's thinking. She just always looks bothered. So I was like, okay, well, maybe production said something or brought something up, like, okay, Ru, well, Arietti was very, very upset and Untucked yesterday. Let's ask her about what she thinks about your decision and who was in the bottom or whatever. I was just curious.
Yeah. So we move on along, and all of a sudden we see Lexi. And Lexi's looking around. Then Lexi gets visibly upset, and then she turns around and looks like she's crying. And she runs into the workroom and is like, who destroyed my outfit? No one fesses up, and everyone's just kind of like, girl, did you? Girl, no, not us. It wouldn't be us. Then she runs back outside to investigate. And as soon as she goes through the doors, we hear Ina say, y'all, it's finna get interesting, y'all. And she goes up to the other girls, but not Lexi. And Lexi got to run outside and do some transvestigating and find out that it's brown. The only thing that's brown out there is something that is Anya's. Arietti says, well, girl, I'm so sorry, but what happened was... And so she runs back in, and Anya's like, well, I didn't want to say nothing because you were so upset, and I wanted to wait for the right time, but it was an accident, but da-da-da-da.
I know in the end that it's all good for TV. I'm sure had production not been there to not mediate it, but to...
Oh, no, it was mediation. We can get that.
So I just feel like I watched it 3 different times to kind of go over it in my head. I'm like, okay, Lexi went outside and saw that it was visibly ruined. Arietti was right there. Arietti fessed up to it as soon as she saw.
Just Con said, I'm kind of living for Lexi's outfit in the scene. Yes.
Yes. I was going to say that, and I was like, oh, I'm not even going to bring it up. But that she does. It's very, very 90s of her.
Oh, God, yes.
It's giving, like... Adam Sandler's gay blonde brother, Julian from Little Nicky.
Yeah.
It's giving like Cher from Clueless. It's giving a little bit of like Elle Woods' 2 best friends and Legally Blonde that just came back from vacation. Like that's, I don't know. I love that. Like love, love, love.
Yep. So again, thanks Roscoe's recap. Shout out. We know more of what happened, but according to In Case You Forgot, this was a major blow up. They skated around what happened. So, here's what I pieced together. So y'all don't have to watch everything else. Here's what I pieced together that happened. They're outside spray painting. They realize they fucked up. And Anya comes in or goes to say something to production because apparently they all got red for the interaction that happened with the rhinestones a few weeks ago between Lexi and Mona Lisa. And production wasn't able to be up and running. to show up production and what happened. And they said, okay, give it a minute so we can get the cameras up and rolling. And so I think Anya didn't fess up at first because she was waiting for production to kind of get up and going, you know. But apparently they had to stop production, filming everything, and had to have mediation for like they had to separate the queens and put them in like timeout. Like it was a 3 or 4 hour ordeal where like they had to mediate to try to calm things down. So I wish they had shown that. I would have loved just a 30-minute of just like hysteric meltdown, crying, screaming, throwing shit. Like,
yep. Like when it first happened, I was like, okay, someone did this, and like we could kind of tell that it was an accident. And then Arietti saw, like, before she even started blowing up, Arietti was looking at her weird when she was outside. She's like, okay, so I'm just gonna let you know that I did get
Arietti didn't do it at first. She said something, blew up, went inside, and then came back out. And Arietti then fessed up to it when she came out.
Which Arietti is really not even the one that ruined it. I mean, she got a little bit of blue on there, which it was already blue, so it really wasn't that big. She was mad about the brown. Well, then she basically says, oh, well, me and Anya were out here, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, Anya's outfit is brown. This is brown. So this was Anya that did this. And then she goes back in, walks right past Anya, and that's when Anya decides, okay, well, now that she's back in here, she's calmed down a little bit. Not knowing she's even more pissed now that she's found out, and Anya didn't tell her. But then I was thinking about it more, and I was like, Anya knew what she did. Yeah, granted, it was an accident. Anya knew what she did after it happened. And
well, that's kind of what I said about the thing, because with production said, hold off, wait for us to get cameras. I understand now why she waited a little bit. So that gave a little bit more context to why she waited, because she's wanting production to get up and running. And Arietti also waited. She didn't fess up to it when she was outside either the first time. So it's kind of, you know,
I probably
the edit is off, and they might should have said, here's what had happened, because it does make Anya look a certain type of way.
Me being a girl's girl and being a people pleaser anyway, I probably would have, I would have found some way to secretly, even if it was passing a note, to tell Lexi what had happened and said, okay, well, I'm going to tell production, but we still got to make this pretty big. So, you know,
it's not even pretty big. I think it's like they just needed a 1 or 2 minute heads up. And I think while they're trying to do that, Lexi then is like, oh, okay, let me go look, you know. And Lexi takes that second to go. So I think it was just all kind of happening, and we got to see as it happened. But I told you, guess when we were talking about it, I was like, I feel 2 certain type of ways about this. On one hand, just said the teaser did not lie to us. If anything, it made it look less bad than it was. Yeah. But I feel 2 type of ways about it. On one hand, we have, again, another design challenge where, again, Anya Nerve is in the middle of some controversy. Again.
When she took one of the materials from Jewel Sparkles after she told her that she was using it and that she could not have it, and she took it anyway. And then also spray painting, and then getting spray paint, and then not telling her about it. And then when she came in and asked, you still didn't tell her about it.
But on the other hand, I call bullshit, because Miss Lexi, girl, you is a seasoned queen. You've been around a hot minute. I'll be goddamned if I'm about to be designing something and spray painting something, and I don't tell if first I'm going to stay with my shit. If I can't, I'm going to tell every fucking person. I'm going to go back and say, y'all, I have a tarp laying on the ground. It's blue. That's mine. Don't touch it. Don't step on it. Don't let a bird shit on it. And if I see somebody going outside, hey, don't forget the tarp on. I'm going to be saying shit.
It was also the set's fault because, like, why don't you have instead of out in the parking lot, even if it is out in the parking lot, a designated spray painting outdoor area for them to do that and not just like, oh, it's going to be out in the parking lot and we may put a tarp down. And then you guys can also use tarps as your materials for this challenge. So you're probably going to mistake it for another girl's material, but it'll be fine in the end.
Yeah.
What?
I'm just like, yeah. I don't know.
They need to have they're this many seasons in. They need to have a little designated area that is set up for that.
Well, I think that only happens like this is only the second time I've really seen people outside doing it to this extent, you know? So I don't think it's, I mean, enough, especially with space in LA. It's so hard to find, you know? I just think they need to have it. Well, and it's not really on production. It's more on the queens to say, hey, this is my shit. And not leave it just, you know. Again, if I saw anybody walking out that door, you know when people are leaving, I'm like, hey, don't forget. So, yeah, so that's the rest of the drama that happened.
I see both sides, but the more I thought about it, the more I was like, even though production had their hands in it, I still would have found a way to have told Lexi of what had happened.
Oh, I get it. So you want to be kicked out of the show?
I mean,
you want to have a Willem pulled?
I guess. Like I would have passed a note and said, "Hey, you're still gonna have to blow up about this, but just letting you know this happened. I ruined it, but you need to go out there and act surprised because production wants something big to happen out of this. But just wanted to let you know, I accidentally got spray paint on your outfit. Pass the note."
I don't think literally. I think it happened, and probably Anya walks in, kind of like, "Oh God, I've got to say something," and then out she goes.
So you think it happened like minutes prior to that?
Yeah, from what Acacia said, it happened like because as soon as she had walked out of the room, that's when Anya told everyone in the room, said, "Oh, it's about to be a blow up, y'all," you know. And then she comes back in and says, "What happened?" And Acacia, I think, was looking, or she said Acacia, she said Anya was looking towards production, like, "Are y'all up yet?" You know.
That's what I don't understand why she left her garment. I know that her outfit was like a whole tarp, whereas everybody else's was a tarp incorporated into it that used a tarp. But hers was the whole tarp, so it was bigger, so it had more to dry. But like everybody else's was hanging up when they left it to dry. She left hers on the ground.
Well, there was only 3 people that were spray painting, apparently. So, you know, and people weren't doing as much as she was. So that's why I guess it was on the ground. But yeah, like I said, it just screams bullshit to me. You know, it screams trying to get an ambient stream. You know, and I could be wrong. And it's Lexi Love, so who cares? Let's move on to the runway. We have extra special guest judge, La Roach,
Hunter Schafer.
Yes, trans goddess. I didn't know Hunter Schafer for the longest was even trans.
I found out who she was. She had done some like small modeling gigs prior to Euphoria, but I love the show Euphoria. It is on hiatus right now for filming. Because ever since COVID happened, they've just kind of been on hiatus, but it is a very, very, very good show. There's only a couple of seasons. It is very, very realistic and emotional and in depth.
Never saw it.
And she is one of the main characters, and she is trans in the show as well. And love her name is Jules in the TV show. But love her. She looks completely different because in everyday life and like her modeling, and in the show, she doesn't really wear makeup. She's very plain Jane, very pretty. I think she started transitioning pretty young because she still is young. She looks so different. Like they have her dragged up. Granted, she's still not wearing a ton of makeup, just more eye makeup, but she looks completely different.
Yeah. La Roach, from the tea I'm reading online is saying that it's going to now be a permanent rotating judge, kind of like how T.S. Madison, Ross Matthews, etc. are.
I wonder if there's some connection to them being on the show together because LaRoche is close with Zendaya. And I don't know if he was like Zendaya's makeup artist or something, but him and Zendaya are always together, especially at award shows. But Zendaya is in the show Euphoria. Euphoria and Jules are best friends in the show. And they actually like technically kind of date for a couple of episodes. But I wonder if that's why they're on the show together because they have a mutual.
I don't know. Just Collins facts. We all know the Traders is getting the Emmy this year. Facts. And I'm bringing this up for the Traders episode. But did y'all see Bob the Drag Queen's video reaction? Where watching with some friends to see Boston Rob getting eliminated, and then just celebrating. Loved. Anyway, LaRoche. Yeah, I don't like him as a guest judge. And T.S. Madison kind of called him out for this, but to me, he is not as fair of a judge as other judges are. I feel like he will give other queens a pass, or well, we'll talk about that in a minute. I'll circle back to that because we'll talk about that when we get to the very end. Anyway, the first runway, we have Crystal Envy. Here are all three of Crystal's looks. I loved all of her looks.
I love so the three runways this episode were the first runway was supposed to be
Bathing Beauties.
Runway.
Second, Creature Couture, and then the Sickening Eleganza.
Yeah, the last one is where they actually made it out of the unconventional materials. But I loved all of her looks. I love the first one, the homage to Barbie. I know the judges said, "Oh, it's so overdone. Barbie's just in your face, in your face, in your face." Barbie is just nostalgia for a lot of us, but I love. It's very true to life. The way that she stood, the bathing suit, the shoes. Then she put like the little toupee piece right here in the front when she got to the end of the she's doing better on her runways. Yeah, Mackenzie, she's doing a lot better on her runways.
Her runways have still been pretty good. I don't know, and I think who was it on Roscoe's recap? Throwback. Or said this, she was like, y'all don't like this queen and I think that's what I think. Crystal Envy, she comes across as unlikable, and when people look at it, they like the outfit, they like but there's just something about her that's making people not really want to root for her. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like I don't know, but there's just something that comes off as maybe fake about her. But do I like her? And do I think she's talented? Yes. I wish I had her body. I like the even though if I wore that puffer outfit, I would look even larger than I already am. And I mean, the one that she had to design it's gorgeous. I mean, like, I would wear that. I couldn't fit my body into it, but I would wear it if I could.
She could go a million different ways with that outfit. Like, if you would have told me it's pufferfish, I would have believed her. If she would have told me she was giving hedgehog, I would have believed her. If she was giving me caveman going into war against the dinosaurs, I would have believed her. I mean, that outfit just kind of goes with all of the above.
I just said Bob's TikTok was funny. I said he doesn't have to be fair. Santiago was the beginning of the self-producing era of Drag Race, LaRoche is more relevant than Santina Rice. Facts. And then said, my autocorrect doesn't even know who he is. Does anybody? Anyway. Crystal Envy, I'm gonna say I would mop it.
I would mop it. I thought all three looks. I loved how Rue was kind of questioning her in the workroom about her design look. How ooh, well, can I feel that material? Oh, it doesn't really have any stretch. Are you going to be able to make this work? She made it work, but baby, she could barely walk, but she hopped on that stage. She hopped across that stage.
Yep.
I would say I don't think she was like top for me, but she was very close, so I'm gonna mop it.
Next we have Jules Sparkles.
Loved everything but her bathing suit look. It was giving very like gold member, like Austin Powers gold member.
Yes.
I don't know if it's her leggings that threw it off, or I think it was the chains. I don't know. It's something.
Well, I think it's that. Well, it all looks like she's nude, so it looks like she's standing naked on the stage. And well, from this distance, it looks like she's got a snake wrapped around her belly, but I mean, it's chains. So yeah, it just makes her look naked. It washed her out.
Yeah, I loved her her sea creature look. Loved
And
it.
that's something, by the way, for us to note for anyone who, if you're ever going to go on Drag Race, or you're ever thinking about think about how light is going to hit. Like we all know with makeup, the more light that's hitting your face, the more it's going to wash you out. So you got to paint heavier for lighting. So it's going to be the same for outfits that are white, tan, nude. It's going to kind of make you look almost white or disappear. So, if she had come out wearing this with like a pop of color, like maybe like an orange or, something like that would look great against her skin tone, I think it would have elevated a little bit more. But I loved her design. Like, to me, for her to design that, like, good girl, go. I would have worn that. Yeah, bump it.
If you're gonna do a corset type of, either a corset or a leotard type of deal on a design challenge, make it look like that.
Yep.
Next
we have Lydia Butthole Collins. It's like it's a meh for me because I don't like the swimsuit. I don't like the cutting of the swimsuit. I get she's trying to make it look longer, but it just gives, I don't know, there's something about the legs that just makes it look like a man wearing a bathing suit.
It's because all of the tall skinny queens are all like skinny and like, toned and muscular, like Lana Del and her, and they don't wear padding and stuff, and when they do wear their bathing suits or like less clothing, they have to oil their bodies up so their skin looks wet and moisturized.
They don't. All they have to do is wear pads. And T.S. Madison said this. She wants to see Lana in pads. But like, you can wear pads and you can wear a hose that's got a sheen to it. And so if you do that, then it's going to look like your legs are oiled up and wet. It's not, it's drag 101. It's drag basics. Yeah. But if she had that built out and the hips larger, then it would have looked more like Jimbo or Plain Jane when they came out in swimsuits like this. It looks proportional, looks better. It just did not look good. I did not like her fish moment. I did, out of all these though, what fifth? Yeah, love it.
I like that she was a little different than everybody else. Everybody else was a sea creature. She was riding the sea creature. almost like she was like a sea nymph riding an anglerfish. I thought that was cute and creative. Her runway look, it's giving very like Tin Man's wife or Tin Man's husband wife. I'm just gonna say none of it was awful, horrible for me. It's just kind of meh.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'll do that. It's kind of meh. Let's see. Next one is Sam Star. I Tin Man's wife from The Wiz is what Joseph Collins said for Lydia.
You got it, Joseph.
Sam Star. I actually liked all of them. I'm going to say I did not like the design look as much. Because to me it did look a little bit more on the with the bags the cheaper side. Like I thought there were other looks that were a little bit better, but overall I'm gonna say it was more on a slay of the day because love that swimsuit, a little pop of color. If she had done different color, love.
I love her first two looks, but I will say the design look was like a little bit more of a struggle. I don't mind how she made the bottom dress part out of the bags very creative. I don't mind the hair. I think it's the corset looks so like
Yeah.
I think it's the corset that's throwing it off, which one of the other girls said, "Oh, well, I mean, if I would have wore a corset and just glued a bunch of bags to the bottom of it." Who was the one that said that?
Case Forgot said that on the Madison, and she's like, oh no, Michelle Visage and What You Packing, and she's like, I don't feel like I should be sitting here because my look I designed, I did this, I put, loop stitch. I don't know, I'm making up some word, but she's like a loop stitch and a back hoop and all this other stuff, and other people just glued stuff onto a bodice, and you could still see it. And Michelle's like, I agree. I typically give points to people who do so and did something. And I felt like LaRoche, well, and T.S. Madison said LaRoche was wanting some cocaine that day. And this reminded him of his cocaine dealer. And that's why it got scored so high. And that's what T.S. Madison said on Roscoe's recap. So
I love the homage to she wore an itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini that she wore for the first time today. I love that. And I love her. I can't remember what fish she was going for. It wasn't an angler fish. What fish was she going for?
I don't remember, but yeah.
I love this. I love it. Like it's very like very Lady Gaga circa like 2011 with her second album. That was a lot of her look. That's what that was giving me. But the third look was just a little bit more of a struggle. It's still not horrible, but I would say not slay of the day. I mean, it's close to a slay of the day. I'm just gonna say mop it. The first two
and for me, it went from a mop it to a slate is just how she's working it on stage. That's what I liked about that.
Yeah.
Before I forget, I'm gonna go back one just to make one more. I forgot about Lydia Butthole Collins. She had 5 dicks all over her. She had a dick here, a dick there.
Oh, yes. On her bathing suit. Yes, she had like 3 bulges in the front and 2 bulges in the back.
5 cock rings. Yeah. Ugh, girl. We get it. You're trying to.
But that's the thing.
Made RuPaul laugh. So RuPaul laughed. I mean,
that's the thing too. I like her. She's not really a comedy queen. She's a comedy queen when it comes to her looks.
Yeah.
Her fashion has a bit of comedy to it, but she's not actually funny. We knew that in the last acting challenge, she was not funny at all. But another thing that I'm not understanding is they came for Arietti for doing the Avatar nose makeup, the white that she does, that she fans out, that she's known for. They came for her 2 episodes ago for that and not changing it up. Well, she has since then, but they haven't really said anything to her about she kind of like it's expected. Like we expect it. Like we would be surprised if she did like something glamorous.
I think it's because she's coming out. It's because she's coming out doing. It's not the same look. There's going to be a little bit of a punch to it, but it's not like she's wearing the same shape or the same. She's wearing something different.
Yeah, like I'm not sure.
When you do something, when Arietti does that white triangle with her face, it's just so noticeable. It's like Magnolia Crawford with that fucking tiny point on that nose with her contour. It just looks bad. I get you might think you may be delusional. You may be Mistress Isabel Brooksing yourself into thinking you look hot like that, but whatever.
Yeah, it's just like the judges are going to get to a point, hopefully, where they're like, I mean, it's fun that you like put a little bit of comedy in like your drag costumes, but like, how about you give us just like straight glamour, like 1 week? That way we can just see like what it looks like, because her looks are always surprising, but like I'm just like, okay, well, I expected it to be crazy.
For Sam Starr, Just Colin said she gave us Showgirl and then gave us a Carmen Miranda look this week. She needs to live up to her mom's reputation in Snatch Game, or the judges are going to make her lip sync because she's comfortable. I agree. We'll talk about expectations for next week. I don't know that she's going to be knocking it out of the ballpark, because I don't think Trinity did it her first time on Snatch Game. I think Trinity was kind of middle of the first and then came back. I expect we'll see Sam Starr to kind of be middle to top of the pack. Just because of she knows how to make Ru laugh, and she's got that Southern wit. So usually that does pretty good. But yeah. Moving on along to Anya Nerve.
I didn't mind her bathing suit. Okay, I will give her this. I did not mind her bathing suit. I did not like the cover up on the bathing suit, and I hated the wig. Her makeup always looks beautiful, but I did not like anything other than the bathing suit in her first look. The sea creature look I did like. I thought it was creative that she did a starfish. It's really cute. The puffer pants, loved it. The woodland nymph that she did I thought she was going to do way worse than she did. That's the thing this season. Even the girls at their worst is still not horrible this season. Like, this is the youngest group of girls that we've had, and all the design challenges we've had, none of them have done horrible. Like, even Corey King, who's probably like one of the worst when it comes to the looks that she brought and the looks that she designed, still not awful. I mean, we've seen girls that were like brought beautiful drag that did a design challenge that was like, I wouldn't even walk out on stage with it. So this is a very, very talented group of girls for their age.
Did not agree, but I don't. Even T.S. Madison said it on Roscoe's recap. She's like, if I had been there this week, she would have been in the bottom for these looks. Love the puffer, or the puffer, the fish couture, sea creature couture one, but hated the swimsuit with that hair, with like, girl. It's giving very pageant swimsuit competition and not just actual,
For me personally, her middle look was her best look, but I feel like she should have been bottom 3, personally.
100%. And according to T.S. Madison, the reason that she is not in the bottom 3 is going to be because LaRoche liked her, and LaRoche isn't going to put her at the bottom. So that was according to T.S. Madison and what I got from Oscar's recap.
It's
this is a I'm gonna get a meh because of the Sea Creature Couture. That was great, so that's the reason it's not just gonna be a couch catastrophe.
It's
but
meh for me. It's just
a low meh, like it's teetering. Next we have Ariete.
Slay of the day for me, all across the board. From her being in the bottom 2 last week and losing the lip sync.
Can you imagine having gone home?
Yes, like her being in the bottom 2 and then her blowing up in Untucked last week because she was in the bottom 2, and then her losing the lip sync and then pulling the lever and picking the right number, which created 17. I am so happy for her. I don't always agree with her personality. I don't know if I would personally vibe with her in person, but I do really, really love her drag and her artistry. I mean, let's state facts here. She's the best makeup artist in this competition this season. She changed her makeup 3 times, and you get 30 minutes to change each of these looks. She changed her makeup up 100% every single look. None of the other girls did that. They did a few edits. She went from blue and black makeup in the first one to basically a painted pufferfish on a Broadway like she basically looks like a ballerina version of a puffer, or not a
puffer. When she walked down the stage in that outfit, it was just kind of
ethereal,
underwater. Yeah.
This is slay of the day for me. She was the top for me, and rightfully so, to go from the bottom and to almost be kicked off, and then you're in the top next week. So good for her. But the first look, loved it. It was giving Avatar meets The Fifth Element.
Yep.
The second look, they said the third look was their favorite. Like, a lot of the judges said it was the best look on the runway that night. I don't know if I agree about that, but her middle look, my favorite look all night. That was my favorite look. Just the way the fronds.
Well, I'll agree with it was
the way that the fronds on that dress go, like the way, I think it's tulle, maybe, like the way that the tulle is layered at the bottom, and then the way that it's like ombre, like spray painted, like the zebrafish print, and then like the way the fronds are just kind of like, they're so light, it's like they're floating. She just looked like ethereal. And that was probably my favorite look of the night, was that, like, definitely slay of the day for me. Loved and then her third look that she designed, how she did it with that fabric. Like, if you're going to take a tarp or like fabric like that and spray paint it and color it and make it look that good and layered and stacked, I mean,
well, and that's why I think the judges said that it was the best look of the night, is because I think they're just basing it more on what everyone designed, the third looks.
Yeah.
So out of the third looks, it is the best of the night for me. But yeah, I'm gonna say slay. Yeah, slay as well. Love. Next we have Miss Substitute. Meh. It's just meh. Yeah.
Is she using a balloon that she used for her clown look last week?
No, the ones for the clown looks were a lot bigger. Like a lot bigger.
Okay, so I don't mind the first look, because it's giving very like Anastasia.
Yeah.
That's kind of like, the first thing I thought of was prison, but then I was like, well, actually, if you like look back, that's kind of what the bathing suits, they almost look like cut off long johns, striped cut off long johns. That's kind of what bathing suits looked like back in like the late 1800s, early 1900s. I don't even mind the beard. There's been a couple.
I don't mind that either. Yeah.
It's the character shoes that are throwing it off for me, which brings even more comedy, but it's the character shoes. And I almost wish she would have
Crystal with them character shoes.
I
think the colors off. The color makes it look muddy and just not. It doesn't make her pop.
I think she should have done
look good with the colors and it makes her pop, but it's just that third is ugh.
I think she should have done Pippi long stocking, pigtails that stick out and like round out and go downwards that stick out like this. That would have looked cute with this. And then the mustache, make the mustache huge. She should have made the mustache like humongous.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The mustache was huge, and she had like not Eliza Thornberry, what I just said. Pippi Longstocking pigtails that like stick out and are braided that go down, and then she would have changed her shoes. I would have loved that. I don't mind it.
Even if she had done that, it's still that third look's just that's bad. That's bad, girl. That's ugly. That's bad. Granted, it's more than I can do, but yeah, not my favorite.
Not the worst. Not the worst.
It's not on your nerves bad, but it's just,
not the worst design look of the night. It's just the first one. If she would have like done something a little different, I love the middle one. I love that she made the hair look like the actual head of a octopus, and then she had like the bangs that mimicked like the tentacles. I loved her creature look. And then her design look, it was just okay. Like it wasn't awful in my opinion. It was just So I'm just gonna say meh.
Yeah. I actually like it better than I thought that I would. For me, but there's something about the proportions. I don't know. There's something off for her bathing suit look that's just kind of making me like look at a little. I don't know if like the proportions seem off because it's like she seems taller than she should. There's just something weird for me there. But other than that, like
the bathing suit look was okay. So she was giving an homage to Katy Perry's Super Bowl look from a couple of years ago. And Katy Perry wore a bathing suit dress that looked like her bathing suit. And then, of course, she had the sharks that she tried to trademark. That was okay. I don't mind her creature look. It looked more superhero than creature look. It was kind of like how Hormonas was. They read her that it was pretty, but it was less creature and more like pageanty. This looks more superhero than creature like. Hated her hair. I hate when a queen wears a wig that is flat and they put gel in it to make it look wet. And it also looks crispy. So it's crispy, it looks wet, and it's flat. And like when you are a man and you have strong masculine features like her, you need a wig like she wore in the bathing suit challenge. That's literally what she needed to wear in this look, because that wig is misshapen, it's flat, it's crispy, and it's wet. I cannot stand a wet-haired look on a drag queen. I do not like the wet-haired look. Unless you have dainty features and you are a model,
dainty features.
Do not wear a wet, slick back hair look. I cannot stand it at all. Hated.
Dakota going off.
I do not like it. So her bathing suit, cute. Her middle look, love it, but it is not creature. It's giving superhero. And her what she designed, I actually don't mind it. Like how she did like the rope, like she basically just put it on a corset and she like glued the rope down and then spiraled it. It's very like what Roxy Andrews did in the candy challenge on her season against Jinx and Alaska. And
her design look would be better if she had made it something different than what we've already seen.
Yeah.
Every single week. We get it, Corey King. You got knees.
Yeah. It would have been cute if she would have like how she has the blue on there. If she would have taken some blue fabric and had it cascading down under the orange rope to like lengthen the dress a little bit more. So it almost looked like a corset, like ombre, like, and the colors are just ombre together. I feel like if she would have made it a full length or like more,
I
like
think it was creative though that she that was all rope and it was kind of like frayed rope, like that gave a good or an interesting look. Some of the queens in the workroom were reading it and calling it a sweet potato boob, but I mean,
I think it was more cohesive and better put together. I feel like she could have added a little bit more to the bottom part of it.
I agree.
But I liked it better than Susie Toots on Your Nerves.
Oh God, yes. Yeah, completely.
So hers is just meh for me, but like she's not the bottom this week for me.
I'm gonna say I'd mop it. But yeah, I agree. She's a good safe.
Yeah.
Next we have Case You Forgot.
I'm honestly, I'm gonna say, I'm going to say it's not a couch catastrophe, but it's past a meh. It's in between a couch catastrophe and a meh. The
some backstory, she did say on Roscoe's recap that her swimsuit was supposed to look, I don't know if it was her swimsuit or for English, but one of the two looks were supposed to be coming from a designer. The designer, she had sketched something. The designer sent something back that was a fierce, like, going to be super fabulous. And it got there and it was not that. And so she got it the day before. And so she spent the entire night trying to salvage what she had spent thousands and thousands of dollars on to make it better.
I don't actually, her bathing suit look is what I don't mind because it's very like giving. She said it's supposed to resemble a beach ball, which it does. Like
I don't think it was that one. I think it was her middle look.
Okay.
That was the one. But with that, I'm just gonna say, meh.
Yeah.
For me, it was I'd mop some of it, but I would wear the
suit it was okay. Like it was a cute look. I understand what she was going for. What she did with her hair.
I hate that a meh on this season is a win on other seasons. Completely. Like these looks would have won on season 12, 11, 13, 14.
Mackenzie and I have been talking about it this whole season. These girls have only been doing drag, like some of them less than 10 years, some of them less than 5 years. And these drag queens are like eons ahead of some drag queens that have been on past seasons that have been doing drag for like 20 years. And they were booted off first or second because of their looks. So that just goes to show you. I will say, it's just, I will say, I'll give it a meh. I'm not going to say couch catastrophe, although I did not like her creature look. I felt like it was like two different looks that were put together. And then her look that she made, I understand.
I would say for me, it's still on the safe, but it's a low safe. Like it's a you in a lingerie position.
I put her, not her, this challenge as a whole, but I put her design look bottom 2 of the week. Just on if we were going just on the design look, I would say bottom 2 of the week.
Next we have Lexi Love. For me, this is it's a borderline slay, but it's mop it for me. I love the censored look. Love. It's something different we've not seen. For me, she looks angelic, walking down the runway in her Sea Creature Couture. And I thought that I was not going to like the third look as much. There's just, I don't know. It flowed. It just looked stiffer than I really wanted it to look. The one that she designed. But I love the hair. I love everything. It's just, I don't know. It's just not as polished, or no, I don't say polished. I'm not gonna. I'm saying it's not as high fashion as I'm used to her looks being.
I thought she did well accessorizing her design. She did well with that, and her first two looks definitely saved her because her design challenge was not bottom, but it was not what I expect. I expected her to do a little bit more than just using the tarp and draping it to make it look like this avant-garde type of gown. This looks like something that I would see on the cover of Vogue. If a model was doing a cover photo and they were, trying to make an homage to Mother Nature or something, I could see this. But it's not Slay of the Day, but I would mop it. Slay of the Day this week.
Like the little yellow flowers that she had done. If she had done more of that kind of cascading down, I think it would have made it a little bit more for me,
Yeah, I love her bathing suit. It was cute. We have seen it before. I can't remember which queen did it. They were doing like an homage, they were doing the Madonna challenge, and they took the Madonna censored nude photos out of the Madonna book that she released. I can't remember what queen did it. It wasn't Gottmik. Maybe it was Gottmik. I can't remember what queen it was. But they did like the censored look. That's kind of what it gave me. I thought it was cute. I loved her. Was she a jellyfish?
Jessica said sex.
Yes, Madonna's book, Sex. I loved her creature look. I can't remember. I think it's a jellyfish or some type of
I think it might have been a
creature like a jellyfish. I love that, and I don't mind her design look. It's just not what I expected her to do. It's a little bit more basic than a lot of the others, but like I understand.
Maybe it's more basic because they had 3 hours of mediation of fighting, and maybe that's why.
It's very avant-garde. It's just not what I expected her to make. Yeah. But I will just say I would mop it.
Yeah, it's a mop it, and it's almost a slay, but it's like it's at the top, for me. Next we have Hormona Lisa.
I agree that she should have been in the bottom this week. I hate to say that because I love Hormona.
I disagree. I feel like she should have been safe on the low side of safe. Like she should have been in the Lana Del Rey part of safe. I do not think hers was the worst.
I don't think her design was the worst, but a lot of other people's design was horrible, but their other two looks brought them up. Her first two looks, her bathing suit is cute, but the headband, she should have made it a huge headband with flowers jetting out everywhere. You do not need a small little headband sucking your head in. It's too basic. She needed either like Acacia forgot how she had the band with the big hair jetting out. That's what she needed. Or she needed, if she wanted to go with the headpiece, she needed to make the flowers that come on the swim cap to jet out and go farther, or make it like jet out more. That's what she needed for that. That would have made that look way more acceptable. Her second look, love the wig, love that it's not blonde or pink like it normally is. Love the wig. I love the dress. Like, I understand what they said by, we understand what you're going for, and it did kind of match the creature you were trying to project, but it was a little bit more basic compared to the other girls' gowns, because a lot of the other girls' creature outfits were so amazing. This one was just kind of okay. So
I will say, says, go Dakota.
Thank you.
I agree. Well, I agree with the
I
first one.
love her.
Yeah.
I just feel like all three looks needed edits. I don't think her design look was the bottom this week compared to some of the other girls' design looks, but her other two looks.
That's what I'm basing mine more off of is the
Okay.
design look is much more polished than some of these other queens. It's better than On Your Nerves. It's better than Occasion Forgots. It's better than several of them. And I'm just like, oh.
I'm basing it more on all three
Okay,
outfits.
Monique said, oh, hey, friend. Hey, girl.
Hey Kayla, that is my best friend since basically middle school.
Look at you guys. Who, us?
We're we're an hour and 45 minutes into our RuCap of this week's episode of RuPaul's Drag Race, but you know.
Yeah, I wish she had done something different for the first one. The second one, it does look more pageant than it does, but I mean, I actually looked up that fish and I was like, okay, I see. I mean, yeah. I just feel like hers was.
None of her looks were horrible. That's the thing. None of them were like unpolished. She just needed a small edit. Like the swimsuit, her cap needed to be bigger, or she needed to add a big ponytail jetting out the back or a hair piece and like, you know, make the cap smaller. She just needed something to make her head look bigger. And then her second look, love the gown. It's beautiful. The way that it's layered, it matches it. She needed something like either like a piece to come out of the back of the dress to make it more like how Arietti's was more ethereal, like something like that. That's all she needed, just something little like that, like even wings, like some see-through wings. And then her design dress.
What I'm going to say real quick though is I find it funny that looks like this for this season are sending queens home when we have season like Lala Ree, who went home, I think the same placement as Hormona Lisa, who served shitty looks the entire like.
Hormona's looks this runway were all consistent, whereas the other girls, their design was horrible, but their first two looks saved them, which isn't fair because it's the looks that you brought. But I wish they would have focused more on what you designed and less on the other two outfits that you brought, because all of Hormona's were like very consistent. They just needed like a little bit more pizzazz. But the other queens,
Colin said Hormona was absolutely robbed. They just ran out of story and were way too blatant with just putting her in the bottom just because.
Who did she piss off in production?
Well, I'm just pissing anybody off in production. When we get to the bottom, I'm gonna give my theory, but it's unpopular. So I mean, y'all cancel me. I don't care. Yeah. Next we have Lana Sheree. This is a lot when both of us are silent and we're both trying to figure something nice out to say.
I don't really know if anybody this week has a couch catastrophe because
she does.
We're looking at all three looks, and I will say her bathing suit was not giving, and her hey Jason, thank you. Her design, okay, her design this week was the worst out of everybody's this week. What she designed was the absolute worst. Still not the worst in Drag Race history, but
that's Lala Ree.
But even her creature look, it was okay. I feel like
T.S. Madison said the best. Girl, we get you a model, we get you a stick, we'll get you this big, but you know, give us a figure, give us something like, you know, that's why queens wear pads, not because, you know, oh, you know, they want to, you know, yeah, a lot of queens that wear pads are skinny. I mean, like this big round. Look at Trinity the Tuck. Trinity the Tuck is like a size 0, and she still pads. Like that just gives you more to work with, and it gives you that exact. It makes it look better. We get that you look like a skinny fit, you know.
Well,
And so I said, well,
earlier
she doesn't wear
season,
pads because if she wears pads, she can't then oil up her legs.
or
Bitch,
earlier seasons, they were very against you going natural. They wanted you padded the house down. But as seasons progress, they notice, okay, well, there are biological women out there that are models that have very, very thin, non-curvy bodies. I mean, we see it with supermodels all the time, and that is considered feminine. So why isn't it feminine for, a biological male drag queen to come out on stage with a very skinny, semi-feminine physique with like a little bit more muscle tone to come out on stage wearing something like this? Because we're more body positive than they were in the earlier seasons. But it's not that I hate her for like showing skin, because if I was skinny and like I was built like that, I'd probably show my body off all the time. But she's been showing it so much every single week. Like, and even in the mini challenges and stuff, like she's wearing a bathing suit. She's wearing a bathing suit. She's wearing a bathing suit. She did wear a dress last week, so I can't really say that. And she wore in the last design challenge that Rue read her on. She did wear a dress in that as well. But
I mean,
I just
she's not doing like Carmen Carrera did, relying on that body, but she's still relying on her body. So if you're gonna call people out for relying on their body, call it out, But
I didn't really like the bathing suit. I feel like it was the most basic out of all the bathing suits.
it was basic. She had no styling, and that hair is flat. What she needed for her swimsuit look, the hair that she needs for that, y'all pardon me a second, she needs Lexi's hair in her design look. That's the type of hair you need for this look. Like, that's what would have looked good here.
Or a Tina Turner wig, something. Like, I mean,
you can't teach somebody how to style or how to accessorize or how to make themselves look better when they have this look, this idea in her head. And her drag mother is the same way. And her drag mother, though, learned she learned on hiatus. She learned from, the last episode that aired till they went for the finale. She polished it up and she changed her look up, and I feel like that may happen with her, but girl.
Yeah, it's her bathing suit, like how all the other girls, maybe their design look wasn't as strong, but their other two looks kind of saved them and made them safe. Really, none of her looks are saving her this week. Her bathing suit look was basic, the most basic out of all the girls' bathing suit looks, which was probably one of the easiest looks to come by because you brought it and it's the least amount of clothing that you have to wear. Her creature look was just okay at best.
It's all a couch catastrophe for me.
And her design look was the worst of the week. So I'm just gonna say it's a couch catastrophe for me. Definitely bottom two.
We find out that safe queens were Lexi, Jules, Corey, Lydia, Anya, and Susie. And they all go off stage. We find out in Tuck that they're sitting backstage, pissed that they weren't in the top. Bitch, you're fucking safe. And it's a design challenge. Be fucking grateful. Like, if you're safe, that just means there's more room for somebody else to go home, so you have a better chance to shine later on down the road.
I was half right last week when we said, who do you think the bottom two next week will be? And we had heard rumors that Hormona was going to be in the bottom and that she might go home. I said my bottom two, so I was half right. I said, I based it off of the last design challenge. I said Corey and Lana Jarre were going to be in the bottom two. And Corey actually surprised me this week, which is shocking. But
did I say Corey too? Did I say Corey and Hormona?
Yes, I believe you said those two. So you were half right and I was half right. Because I said Lana Jarre and Corey King. And you said Corey King and Hormona. And Hormona was in the bottom 2. And Lana Del Rey was in the bottom 2.
So we find out that after critiques, the winner. Oh, I need to change that to say week 6. The winner of this week is Ariete. I agree. Crystal, Sam Star, and Ariete were all in the top. I feel like I agree with that top placement. Well, I agree with the winner, and I agree with the top 3. I'll say that.
I don't agree with the bottom 2. I agree with you and Joseph when you say that Hormona was raw. I will say, as a whole, her looks were the most basic. They weren't horrible. They were the most basic out of everybody's. But
so, you know, something that's floating around on Twitter is that, and this is what I don't agree with. I don't agree with saving anybody for any reason other than they weren't the worst. They weren't, whatever. And so what's being said on Twitter right now, and I think it was something that T.S. Madison had posted or something, but someone's like, yes, LaRoche is not going to put Lana and Anya both in the bottom just based off, because they're what. If that's the case, I don't agree with that. That's bullshit. It should not matter. Just like it should not matter, period, across the board. If we're doing that still, then come on. Let's grow up. If you're the worst, you're the worst. So, that's why I don't really care.
It's kind of like unfair, but it's kind of nice too. Like, when you become a guest judge and you only see these queens for one night, so you're basing it based off of what their looks are that night and how much you connect with them when they're on the runway. Whereas the rest of the judges that are there every week are basing it not only off of their likability that they've seen the whole season thus far and all of their past looks, but also their runway this week. I feel like
I would agree maybe if this was more like the beginning seasons where having queens of color was rare, but now I feel like we get such a diverse group of queens and we're getting trans. Like this season, we had 2 trans girls in there. We had several queens of color in there. There's not just the one token girl or, anything like that. So I feel like Drag Race has evolved, that if we've evolved in Drag Race by doing that, then, everyone should have a fair shot. Everyone's worked hard to get there, period. But I don't, lingerie, yes, deserve to be there. But honestly, it should have been Anya Nerve or Keisha Forgot sitting right next to her.
Who was the other one that we said that we thought was going to be in the bottom 3 that we personally said should have been in the bottom 3?
We thought Lana, Keisha Forgot, or Anya. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. It was Anya Nerve because we said we didn't like her bathing suit look or her designed look. Her creature look was the only one that was good.
Yeah.
Okay. So we said Anya Nerve should have been in the bottom 3. Yeah.
And T.S. Madison even said, if I had been there, Anya Nerve would have been the bottom. Like, over Hormona Lisa. So, I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt. Who are we? I am just, a fat bitch living in Santa Monica, California, and you are just a skinnier bitch living in Podunk, Alabama. So who the fuck are we? Who the fuck are we? Just an opinion, just like an asshole. We all got one, or a butthole, as Lydia calls them.
Yep, and that's why this is called a RuCap, because we are recapping what happened on an episode, and we are giving our personal opinions and our feelings on things that happen. That doesn't make it right. That doesn't make what?
We're in our feelings. Our feelings. We then We have a lip sync of "Get 'Em Back" by Olivia Rodrigo. Girl, they're working the song like Miss Lingerie doing some shit on the doing some octopus shit. She doing rolling around, lifting her foot up behind her head to where it's touching the back of her skull. And I'm like, if I'd done that, y'all would have had to been calling 911 to come get me up out of the middle of the floor. Like,
girl, when you used to perform, you were doing like cartwheels and back handsprings and stuff on the stage. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm talking about now. Like now. Like if I did that now, I'd be like, oh.
I can't even do a cartwheel to save my life. So
I can still do a cartwheel. And I can still do a split. I don't know that I can get back up out of, well, I've not had split since my surgery. So I don't know if I can still do a split, but you know. Again, I don't think Hormona was the worst. I think Hormona performed the song better. And again, the Drag Race Recap or the Pit Stop even said this. When you're doing a song, you don't have to work the entire song. You don't have to go to the back of the runway. Stay at the front, make eye contact, and work the front of the stage with the judges. Because a queen can kind of block you. And Hormona did do that for a minute. She was blocking lingerie. But like, again, that just comes with time and learning how to perform. And
yeah, it's about getting the essence of the song. Some songs are more upbeat, so you can get away with like performing and doing tricks on stage. And then some songs are going to be slowed down and a little bit more demure, and you can actually stand in place. Like, perfect example of someone like Latrice Royale versus Little Kenya Michaels. And You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman, and Latrice Royale stood in the same place and performed it, whereas Kenya Michaels is doing pirouettes and is being a ballerina across the stage. So it's all about getting the essence and capturing the essence.
You get it, girl. You can do a split. You can dance. But you know, yeah. So I don't agree with Lingerie winning the song. I thought she was in the bottom. Apparently, RuPaul thought differently. You know, sadly, Hormona Lisa is eliminated, and she sachets away. I don't even remember what she said, but she said something when she was walking off stage, and I was like, oh.
She said, she's like, bye, girls. I'll see y'all later. And then she says, love you, Corey. And I was like, are they like really close friends? And then I was reading about it, and someone said that they really didn't like each other. Like, that was her shading Corey King because that was like one of the people that she actually hated on the show or something. Like, I saw like 2 or 3 different people comment about it and said that, oh, they actually like hated each other and did not get along. And that was her just being shady and saying, oh, love you, girl, mean it. And then she says when she's walking off the stage after she got to the end, she's like, y'all rot in hell.
Oh, yeah, that was it. Rot in hell. Yeah, that was it. You can all rot in hell.
Yeah.
That I thought was cute. It was funny. I laughed.
I want to know, because like, I want to know, her and Corey King were beefing, or like they just were not vibing this season or something.
I think maybe it's all kind of, you know, maybe it was in the moment because, you know, the other night she got drunk on live when she was in London, and she did some ASMR stuff. Then she ASMR whispered the lyrics to Corey King's song, and she was crowd surfing.
Oh, another drag queen with a song. Yay.
So I think, you know, I think from what I'm understanding, most of the queens are now like on good terms this season. And I think, you know, maybe a lot of people misunderstood each other. I think maybe things are changing. You know, I think maybe they all rubbed each other wrong at some point along the way. Do I think some are going to be BFFs? No. But then again, you know,
you could be like Sam Starr and not text anybody back ever. Or you could be like Crystal Envy, who knew 3 or 4 of the girls coming in, and then now they're closer than ever, and they all have their own little clique outside the show. Or you could be like Hormona, who just doesn't talk to anybody.
For What You Packing, Hormona Lisa showed these 3 looks. The first one is a nail polish, a bottle of nail polish. And then the nails were custom with each one of the judges' faces on them. I thought that was a cute look. I don't know which design challenge it was coming up. The middle look, I forgot the designer, but it was from one of the designers that did a lot of the clothes for We're Here. And it's supposed to be reminiscent of a Black Widow spider. And the third one is, you can't see it as well here in this screenshot, but it's a kind of like a denim catsuit moment. So I liked her What You Packing better than the Joella and Lucky Stars. I mean, because this is kind of a wide. Do I like the third denim look? No, but at least it's not the same, and it's not anything that we've already seen from her. Well, maybe the black and white one is, because it kind of is more reminiscent of her skunk look from the Mask Challenge. But yeah, overall, I was sad to see Hormona Lisa go. I felt like she, I feel like she was just kind of coming into her own on Drag Race and kind of finding her voice. And so, yeah.
I love Hormona, and I know you're supposed to like What You Packing. You're supposed to display like 3 or 4 of like looks that you didn't get to show that you're proud of that you brought. I didn't really like any of. I didn't really like any of those. I thought that the nail polish looked like a Queen's Guard that got a little too happy at Thanksgiving dinner.
Well, yeah, but hold on, but if you look at it, like the black's the top, then there's the white line down the middle with like the fringe, like, in the very center of the dress. So like
when you said it, I understood it. It's just it looks like someone's
and
like,
Michelle said, "Oh, but now that you pointed it out, now I see it." But yeah, so yeah, I mean, it's different than anything else we've seen. So
if someone said Queen's Guard, but make it fashion.
Yeah.
That's what, and then the black and white look, it looks like the Barbie bathing suit look made into a dress.
Yeah.
That's what it's giving. And
maybe it'll be maybe the nail polish one will come in a couple of challenges. We'll understand from that runway and be like, oh, well, and I'm sure she'll post it. This is where I was going to wear this one.
And the denim look looks like something Britney Spears would have wore on her like circus tour.
Yeah. Or Beyonce. I could see Beyonce wearing that for
like Look Harder, the country album.
Yep. So coming up next week, we have the Snatch Game.
Yay, my favorite. That is what I look forward to every single season. The reading challenge and Snatch Game.
Anyone watching, who do we think is going to slay next week for the Snatch Game? And who do we think is going to slay?
I think Susie Toot's going to be in the top because we already know she's a comedy queen and she's done amazing in the acting challenges and coming up with characters and concepts. I think she's going to be in the top.
I think that we're going to. I think it's probably, I think it's going to be Lexi Love. But I think Anya Nerve is going to probably be up there with her.
And then Lana Ray and Arietti are probably going to be in the bottom because we know that they're not the strongest in coming up with characters and acting challenges.
Is that right?
Okay.
Lana Ray and Crystal Envy. And Crystal Envy is going to be sent home by Lana Ray.
I just feel like Crystal Envy, though, like during the variety show performance, she was like such a great performer. And like Lana Ray, like from what I've seen, she's not like the biggest performer. Like that's so shocking to hear that might happen. Wow. I think Susie Toot will be in the top 3. And I think
looks like she's going to bomb because she can't speak slowly. She's doing Gilbert Gottfried, who draws out every word. He doesn't really draw out every word, though. He's like, did you hear what I'm doing today? Let me tell you about Dakota. Dakota takes 35 hours to do her makeup.
And this is actually, if y'all want to know what Mackenzie sounded like before vocal feminizing training.
Yo, what's up? How you doing?
What are you talking about? My voice is actually, my voice has always been like this, like always. This is my voice from, well, except when I went through puberty, and it's like, hi, how are you? But this is from, how old am I? 40%. Okay, so this is from 30 years of working in customer service and being on phones. Thank you for calling customer service. This is Mackenzie. How may I help you today? That's where this voice comes from. Except when I forget that I'm, on a live stream and I'm not talking to my BFF. And when I'm talking, I'm like, blah, 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 and I'm talking so fucking fast that my words start sounding like vomit. And then there are times where I, wake up from a nap and I'm still kind of feeling sleepy. And I'm just kind of like, hey, what's going on? Or I get high. And if I get high and smoke some weed, then, hey, how's it going?
I do none of the
above. And just, I'll just call it here. Spoiler alert, I've heard that it's a double win next week with Lexi and Anya both getting a double win.
Mackenzie reads like every article about the upcoming season and while the season is going, so she kind of gets like hints about what may happen.
Well, I also know several Drag Race girls who have been in it, and they text.
I like being genuinely surprised, so I don't read into any of that. Now, if there's like a couple of people commenting on like a post or something, I'll like read into it a little bit. Hence how I've gotten like a couple of people said, oh, well, she said that about Hormona said when she was walking off the stage after she got booted off. Love you, Corey. And then she said, y'all can rot in hell. And I saw a couple people say, oh, well, they actually did not get along on their season. So I think she was saying that to shade Corey a little bit.
I think it's the reality TV, like, scene in me where, like, I like knowing what's supposed to happen. That way I can see the clues. Because usually with good editing, they're going to lay Easter eggs at the beginning of the episode all the way through for what the outcome's going to be. So if you're watching and it's good editing, you're going to kind of see like little, just like with, them saying, who do you, who's your prediction of, she's like, oh, Sam, well, that was just a face plant moment, but I don't know. I enjoy watching a little bit more than that way. I'm kind of able to be like, oh, okay. Or that's how they did that. Yeah. Overall, though, I'm loving the season. I'm so happy that people are finally going home. I'm so happy that the twist is done and over with. Yeah. I agree, though. Like, I think the pressure is really on. Well, and from the critique, it looks like the judges are saying that this was one of the worst Snatch games that we've had in a hot minute. And if that's true, like, girl,
it's really bad when there's been a couple of seasons in the last 5 or 6 years where there's only been 1 or 2 good characters, and like those 2 characters were carrying the rest, and that's why they were in the top 2, or they were just like okay, like they weren't horrible, but they were just like mediocre, and they were in the top because everybody else was so horrible.
And that's why I don't think Sam Star will probably be like, I don't think it's going to be, I think it'll probably be safe, but like we've seen with her the ongoing thing of like she gets an idea in her head and then she's like, yes, this is great and fabulous, and she, you know,
How are you
just
feeling
with,
that? How are you feeling that the queens that were originally going to go home the first are gone or are leaving the show now? Like Hormona was going to be going home first, and now she's gone. Like 4 episodes later.
I mean, it's a mixed bag because I mean, you know, in a way, that's not as, you know, fair because it was, you know, you're put up by your peers, and if your peers, you know, I would not do good in something like that because I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and I get that I'm not everybody's cup of tea. It used to bother me that I wasn't everyone, and now I don't. If you don't like me, I don't give a fuck. Like, you know, when let's say that, girl, I'm just gonna say, you know what? When you're the little fat boy growing up who feels weird and different and goes through puberty, and you know, then you start doing drag shows, and you know, whenever you become a fabulous trans woman, and you've gone from a life where you like, I may have had a few hookups here and there. I never had any significant relationships, you know. Then you become a trans woman, and then literally I could get on Grindr right now. I could just turn my notifications on, and I should do that next time. Just leave it where we can hear it and see how many Grindr bloop, 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 bloop I can get in a full 2-hour episode. Like over 100 easily. So that just does something where you're like, you know what? It's not me. It's them.
That's what the signal disruption was on Mackenzie's end, was her phone was being overloaded by Grindr notifications earlier.
Yeah. So, you know, when you kind of get to that point with it, and then, you know, you're just like, you know what? I don't care. I don't care what people think. I don't care. If you don't like me, fuck you. But yeah, that's why I would not do good on a competition show where they had to judge me from the beginning, because everybody would be like, oh, that bitch. Because I'm loud, I'm opinionated. If you get to like me and get to know me, you like me. But there's no in between. It's like, I don't know about her. It's like you either hate me or you don't.
Yep.
Well, you got anything else you want to say?
Nope. Stay tuned. We go live every Monday night at 7 p.m. like clockwork. There may be a hiccup here and there. Maybe we don't start right at 7, but close to 7. But every Monday at 7
We start
p.m.
faster than the Couch Potato Queens on Thursday nights when we're, you know, doing the traders.
Yeah. But, you know, our show, like, is not for everyone, but the Couch Potato Queens channel, it has a little bit of everything for everyone. You like reality competition shows? Perfect, because we do recaps of RuPaul's Drag Race. Kenzie and I do that. Kenzie and the 3 other creators of this channel, they do the recaps for The Traitors, Big Brother, Survivor, The Real Housewives, and countless other shows. So if you don't like this show in particular, you can go through the YouTube channel and watch recaps of other videos.
And shout out to V. V used to do the RuPaul Drag Race recaps. We miss you. We love you. Love you. Love you. Yeah. But catch us on that. And if there's any other reality shows that you would like us to do recaps on, send us a message on Facebook, or you know, message us on Facebook. You know, our Facebook channel. Or we would love to get some feedback, some things that you would like to see. If it's the challenge, I'm not doing the challenge. Sorry. Go fuck off.
This is the only recap show that I actually co-host on, because it's the only reality competition series that they recap on the channel that I actually watch. And Kenzie needed a permanent guest co-host this season, and I'm here. So here I am. But if I start watching some of the other shows, you may see me like sneakily guest host.
I've told you though, and I've told you this since we became friends and we've talked about Drag Race. You have an encyclopedic knowledge of all things RuPaul's Drag Race. You can pull up references that I fucking have forgotten. and you're just like, you're up on. So when you know your stuff, you know your stuff. And so that's why I'm like, you would be a good permanent co-host. Like, we would love third. We'd love, if anybody else wants to join us, please, we'd love you too. But yeah. And Joseph Collins just said, honey, go binge The Traitors. I agree. You need to watch The Traitors. And
So should I, if y'all, any of y'all that watch The Traitors that would like to see me like maybe sneak in and guest host an upcoming episode in the next couple of weeks on The Traitors, should I just watch this season of The Traitors?
Yes.
Or should I watch all of them and then guest
You can
host?
watch this season. You watch this season and see what's happening, because I mean, you can kind of catch up. Then you can watch others. And honestly, you can you could get through all 3 seasons in like a day or two, like probably 2 days of watching. But I would say just watch this because it's got Bob the Drag Queen in it. And it's enough to where you kind of understand what's happening. And then if you like it, you're able to go back and you're able to look at especially season 1, but and see kind of where it started and some of the the reference points. But the reference points aren't as important as just like being a beast, competition. Jessica said, just watch the season, then go back and watch season 1. Season 1 is a masterclass in reality TV social game. Completely agree. Season 3, this one is a masterclass on what not to do in a reality TV.
I think that's why I haven't watched other reality competition shows, because even though RuPaul's Drag Race is a competition show, it's very easy to like comprehend if you understand like the whole concept of drag. Everything else is like it's probably one of the easiest competition shows. Whereas when I think of like Big Brother and The Traitors and Survivor, they're a bit more complex with their storyline and the way of
Big Brother, yes, because Big Brother, there's so many there's 3 episodes a week, and then there's the live show, like you can watch the live stream, and there's always something happening, so you kind of just have to be like on it to get it. With The Traitors, The Traitors is super gay. If you like the movie Clue, it's that level of camp. Yeah. Clue, even like Clueless to an extent, like it's kind of just like very campy.
Yeah.
And the guy who does it, he based his character of the Scottish guy in the castle, the Lord of the Castle, after Moira Rose. So it's a little bit Scottish, a little bit of Moira Rose, and welcome back. Oh my, just kind of over the top gay camp, funny realness. But Bob the Drag Queen, and you'll love Bob. But and it's not so much because there's some Real Housewives in there, and there's some, people from Survivor. There's some people from Big Brother, and they are legends who have played it, but you don't really have to know much about their gameplay. And honestly, you can just go back. Like my favorite right now in this for The Traitors is Carolyn, and she won, I think, season 44 maybe of Survivor. But I went and watched a 15-minute best of Carolyn moments from Survivor just to get why she's so funny and iconic and people really love her. Because I don't watch Survivor. I just can't.
I've never gotten into like super big.
Caroline lost. I thought she was a winner. My bad. Because she lost. But she's still iconic. And she's drug and alcohol counselor, I think. And so she's one that does a lot of so she'll be doing this, and she'll be like talking to you, and she'll be like her face says everything that she cannot hide anything. What she thinks is on her face constantly. So she's hilarious. Anyway, thank y'all for watching and joining us as always. You can always follow the Couch Potato Queens on our social media platforms. If I can find, there it is. Oh, let me take off this ticker. Hide. Yes. Follow Couch Potato Queens on Twitter, Instagram. Subscribe to our channel, Couch Potato Queens on YouTube. And I'll say we finally got our Facebook back. So go and like us on Facebook, Couch Potato Queens, and you'll see the podcast. You can see our live recaps there at streams on there. So love that. And you can also message us there, blah, blah, blah. Then Dakota, where can all of the ladies and gentlemen find you?
So it's Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. Not that I post on TikTok, but it's all three of those. The handle is what's at the bottom of the screen, Dakota Rain XOXO. I am on Snapchat, Dakota Rain with 3 E's on the last name Rain. And that is about it. I'm not on Blue Sky. I'm not on X. I'm not on any other app. I am very old school, and I only have a handful of social media. So if you find me, you can add me, send me a request.
I swear to God, I thought yours was like Dakota Rain XXXXX or something like that. And that's like, I just looked it up.
I don't want people thinking that I have an OnlyFans account.
No, I was like, because when you said it was the 3 E's, I was like 3 E's. I thought it was 3 X's because I was always like, never mind, I'm going crazy.
Whenever I see X's, I know it's supposed to mean hugs. Like XOXO is like kisses and hugs, and X is supposed to be hugs. But like normally, if you see X's after someone's handle, it usually means that they have an OnlyFans. No hate on anybody that does, but baby, I don't.
Dakota being anti-grandma just caught on Facebook. Yeah, and then you can find me on
thisbasicbitch.com.
That, very much that. Oh, there I am. You can follow me on Instagram or the TikTok at KenzieJoe205, or Twitter at Kenzie_reality, or Facebook, Mackenzie Gray. But good luck, because I got so much privacy on my stuff on Facebook that it's really hard to be able to send me a friend request.
She's a bit more demure on Facebook because she's cleared her Facebook out so much over the years with friends. TikTok, if you'd love to see her react to videos from like 3-4 years ago and she hasn't posted since, follow her on TikTok. And if you love nasty, dirty, opinionated bitches, follow her Twitter.
Yes, I do. And yeah, I've got 2 Twitters. Good luck trying to find the other one.
Each one of her social medias is just a different facet of her personality.
Yes. And I don't post as much, had a stalker for a while, still kind of do. Hi stalker, because I know you watch. Thanks for the views. But yeah, and they're in prison for life. So, having that happen, that's why I've told Dakota, we're very demure and we're very mindful of the information that we share about ourselves publicly. And we don't say what city we live in, or sometimes what state or what country. We're a little bit more demure. We're a little bit more mindful about, information, because as a trans woman, Joseph Collins, straight up in prison, murdered my, murdered who I was with, then was afraid that I knew what they had done, then stalked me straight up for a year. I was under police protection for 2 to 3 months before the person then straight up tried to kill me. And got caught and is now serving life without the possibility of parole. All that. So that's why I'm very quiet sometimes and very mindful of what I post. It took me a lot to actually do this podcast. And so it's nice to be able to kind of get out and finally be able to breathe and, let my wings out. So if I say I'm uptight sometimes, that's probably why. And thanks to Dakota for being that bitch who, when all these other friends, when you go through life, when life hands you lemons, And, there's either lemonade or you die. And trust me, I almost tried to die. You got a friend like Dakota who says, oh, you don't like lemonade? Here, let me make you a lemon pie. Oh, you don't like that? Well, here, let's get some lemon candy. Like, Dakota's one of the few people in my life who has stood up and been there by my side through everything. She has spent countless nights with me on the phone, bawling my eyes out. So she a real bitch.
We just celebrated our 7 years of friendship a little over a month ago. And I will say the last 3 years is probably the closest we will ever be. I thought that we were pretty close friends, even though we didn't talk like every single week, technically. But in the last 2.5,
Who wants to know how we became friends? Because it's juicy.
I don't think people have the time, like.
We didn't go too far into it, but we became friends because I was dating somebody and pretty much almost living with someone. And when you're with someone, no, it wasn't Craigslist. This guy, who shall remain nameless, I kept seeing this girl pop up on his shit, liking everything. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to add her. So I just randomly added her on Facebook. And we started messaging with each other. And we're like, oh my God, we live 30 minutes from each other. Oh my God, I need a trans friend. Oh my God, you seem cool. Let's go to dinner. Me and her had dinner, had a 3-hour conversation at dinner, went to the club and had drinks. And from that moment on, became like sisters. And yeah. And then we, over the years had people message both of us, and then it's just like funny that it shows how desperate some guys are that you're gonna message my friend.
I don't understand.
And they message me the same fucking message 5 minutes apart, and you don't think we talk.
That's the thing. Like, it is a very, very small community in Birmingham. And granted, not all of us are friends or not all of us talk. I was 23 years old when I met Kenzie, so that was 7 years ago. And I was very blind to a lot of things. I was still innocent in that sense. So she's taught me a lot of things. So a lot of my personality you can thank Kenzie for, because you learn from the best. But I will say, I don't understand how people are so stupid when you're going to, you see that we're best friends. Like, you added me or you added her because you were friends with one of us and you saw that we're friends. You saw a photo of us together. That's why you added one or the other or both of us.
And anytime we go somewhere, or we do something, or we take both of us, we post something on Facebook, it usually automatically adds to our Instagram. Mm-hmm. And so every time we post a picture together, both of us are going to get like at least sometimes up to a dozen friend requests.
Which is fine. But how are you going to message one of us if you're friends with both of us and you know both of us, or you think you know both of us? You're going to message one, and then you're going to message the other one, and you're not going to expect us to talk about it?
Because we talk probably at least 2 or 3 times a week. And when we talk, we're on the phone for, nowadays it's probably 2 to 3 hours is our average. When I was going through stuff 2 years ago, we were probably on the phone at times 5.
Oh, yeah. For probably about a year and a half straight. Like, I would say from 2020, from December of 22 until about
a year ago,
until about last summer. Yeah. So about a year and a half, we talked every single day. Now, the last 6 months or so, it's died down a little bit. We're both busy in our own lives and stuff. So we still talk. When we talk, we talk.
Talking, and I get a message, or she gets a message, be like, do you know, or somebody lack something? I'll be like, do you know this person? And then we go through, and so y'all just know, we compare notes. We compare notes on everything. So And she about to be a married woman. I'm a single woman, so y'all hit me up. Or if you want to get in her inbox and ask her things about me, she'll give you all the information you want to know about me after she asked me if I want you to have that information. So,
Yeah, I'm not really going to give information out about somebody unless I know they're okay with it.
Well, because you also know all the shit I've been through. So.
Yeah. So, yeah. Don't, like a Shania Twain song to all these men out there, don't be stupid. It's not really the rest of the lyrics but yeah, don't be stupid.
See, that's the song you should sing. Instead of the Mariah Carey ones that you sing, you should sing more, Shania Twain songs. Because that's more in your range.
Why are you so obsessed with me? Boy, I want to know.
Yeah. Christmas around Dakota is unbearable because she's and she's trying to hit that.
I don't want a lot for Christmas.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for listening to our rant. That's a little bit more about us. I hope you like it. Hopefully. If you don't, fuck you. I don't really care. No, kidding. I do care. Like and subscribe. We love you. We will be back again next Monday night, 7 p.m. for RuPaul's Drag Race Season 17, Episode 7 for Snatch Game. And we will be back here on Thursday night, probably 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the Traders. Have a good night. Stay safe. Love the ones that you love. And fuck Trump. Bye.